Let's talk about hypnosis and using something called subjective units of distress. I'm Chris Thompson.
I'm Mike Mandel.
We are Mike Mandel Hypnosis.
Yes,
and
we
are often talking about when helping people, it's important to know how bad a problem is, right, Mike?
Right. Right, and this is true for most analog problems where there's a spectrum where the person say, oh, it's bad, not as bad as it was, oh, it's worse now. This is all analog.
And that's why we use a SUDs scale. And of course, this is not unique to the field of hypnosis.
No.
But what are SUDs? What does it stand for?
Subjective units of distress. This is subjective because the client/subject, or if you're a doctor, your patient is telling you how bad the pain is, either physical or emotional, right now. And it's subjective. They're the ones who decide, not you.
And we'll often ask a person to frame it on a scale of 0 to 10. So 0 meaning it's gone, there's no problem. 10 meaning it's the worst thing. Brilliant. It's the worst it could
it's as
ever
bad
be.
As it could be, yeah.
Right. And with kids, what would we do?
Well, they're not going to be able to differentiate. You know, it's a 6, now it's a 9. So you just say, how big is that pain? And they showed you their hands. And then at the end of the session, you say, how big is it now? And they look around. So now we know there's been a massive shift here.
Exactly. Now let's give you an insider tip because this is really important. So how do you make sure that this is going to work when you're eliciting those SUDs?
And this is key to make sure your therapy works, whichever kind of power therapy, NLP, tapping, hypnosis, whatever you're doing. If you do this, you'll get a better result. The mistake people make is they are not having the subject feel the pain in their physical body. If they say something like, oh, how bad was it when that happened?
Yeah.
Now they're talking about the past and the person's intellectually, oh, it was pretty bad. No, I want to know how bad can you make it right now?
Yeah. Another way people screw this up is they'll say something like, and imagine yourself in that situation. Imagine seeing yourself. That's it. Seeing yourself over there dealing with that problem. No. That's not activated. You want them in their own body.
Get into it. That will activate the ego state that is vaded. Gordon Emerson, invaded by fear, anger, sadness, trauma. That's what vaded means. So you want them to feel it in their body, get the SUDs, and always write it down. Because when you write it down and circle it on your page, they come in, it's an 8, or they say an 8.5, which is fine. At the end of the session, you got it down to a 1 or a 2, and it won't go any lower. But you say, oh, well, it was an 8, now it's a 1. They go, yeah, that's a lot better. You want to check in at the end of the session and see what the SUDs are. Now, ideally, what do we aim for, Chris?
We're always aiming for 0. But the key thing to remember here is that you can't guarantee a client or yourself that you'll always be able to get someone to 0. But most people will be quite happy, and you can even frame this in the beginning. Hey, we always aim to get this to 0, but
if we can get this to a 1 or a 2, how would that be?
And they'll go, oh, that'd be amazing.
And we get it to 0 almost all the time.
Right.
We're doing something called squeezing the lemon, which is wringing out all the last of the SUDs that we can to get it to 0. Richard Bandler did some great stuff.
Yeah, now, just to make sure this is framed nicely for you, if you do some change work and you get them, let's say, from an 8 or a 9, and now they report back that they're at a 2, you're not going to say, oh, great, good enough, we're done. You're going to, in your own mind, you're going to squeeze the lemon, see if you can push it even further down. And if you can't, you're not going to go, oh, well, that didn't work. I guess, okay, good enough. Thanks a lot. Good night.
No.
Right.
And Richard Bandler had some great ideas, like I just said. He would have the person see it. They talk about a windshield or a car window crazes when you hit it. It breaks into little tiny squares. It doesn't go into big shards now. And he would have the person make an image of that thing. And imagine they reach out with their own hand and a big heavy hammer and smash it, and the image crazes.
Right.
And that will often take it to 0. Or even seeing a painting, a watercolor painting in front of them with an image of the problem at the end when it's down to 1 or 2, and you hose it down, it runs down. And you go, hey, this stuff really comes out. Hose it down, you've got a white canvas left, and the problem tends to disappear.
So somebody came in with some sort of anxiety, you got it from like that 8 or 9 down to a 2, then you did this squeezing of lemon with either the color painting idea or the crazing. Just see that anxiety and smash it. Imagine it's like a windshield and it, all that jazz. That's how you clean up your sessions. That's how you do the squeezing the lemon.
So always take it to 0. That's what we aim for. You got different ways of doing this. Take the SUDs down and show the client they have reduced.
And if you want to know more about subjective units of distress, doing change work, helping people, join the Mike Mandel Hypnosis Academy. You'll find a link in the description under this video.
You'll love it.
While you're there, you may as well hit that subscribe button and ring that bell.
Just mash that pecker.
Yeah, that way you'll always hear of our new videos when they're announced. That's not exactly what I meant to say, but good enough. So thanks again, and good night.